it's painful to think about not only the entire history of the Bills, but these ones recently where is it worse than ever? I mean, it's not that long ago, and we had a coaching change right away. We haven't really, maybe fully comprehended losing to Denver in the second round. Is that going to be, do you think you know? How is that going to be sort of categorized versus, it's not Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
They had that excuse, the Bills, with Mahomes, winning 3 times and going 2 other times.
He's undeniably good or great, and there's not. Don't hang your head. There's not a lot of shame in losing to someone who's that level of great.
They don't have that excuse anymore, and it doesn't apply to McDermott, presently because he's out.
Right.
But it does apply to Allen. It applies to a lot. It applies to Bean. It applies to a lot of those people that now it was Denver this time, and that did precipitate a big change, losing to the Broncos.
Right, but it did keep us from dwelling on how the game went and assigning real blame. Unless you just take the firing of the coach as well, it must have been his fault. And whatever. Everyone that has a finger in it, deserves some level of blame for them not coming through.
But it really wasn't.
But no, right. It's not. But we didn't ever get to sit with that. And I don't know. I don't know that I mind. But just circumstantially, the way it worked out, yeah, by the time we were back on the air, after Saturday night, a post-game show that ended at 10 p.m. or whatever, by the time we're back on there on Monday, McDermott's gone. And, there's no this interception that – there was some arguing about an interception or a catch, on the Bills' last offensive play.
But that's so frustrating,
right? And that really is a different thing than unless you think they lost because that ruling they did. They did. But I happen to think the ruling was right. So whatever. Even that for us got somewhat muted because of the circumstances. It's obviously the most substantial thing that could happen, the outcome of the coach being dismissed after 9 years. So that's where your focus is. And then it became, how they handled it, how they sounded, how they talked about it and everything. And then we're on to a coaching search. And it's I don't think anybody has forgotten that Josh Allen gave the ball away in horrible fashion at the end of the first half, or anything else that happened in the game that was negative. I think for as great as he has been, I think I said this afterward, he's a great player and he made some great games, and I think he had a mostly terrible day.